皆さんこんばんは、赤穂ひまわりです。アジアカップ2019の思い出は、毎試合大変だったけど楽しかったというのが一番の思い出です。インド、台湾、韓国との予選では、途中で流れが悪くなる時間帯もあったものの、最後は日本のいいプレーをしっかりと出して勝ち切りました。準決勝のオーストラリア戦では、チーム全員が体を張ったディフェンスやボックスアウトなどを徹底し、勝ちました。決勝戦は一瞬も気が抜けないシーソーゲームでした。たくさんある注目ポイントの中でも、キキさんの3連続スリーポイント、ナコさんの怒涛のナコタイムは本当にすごいです。1試合通して徹底されている全員ディフェンスからの速攻にも注目してご覧ください。
皆さんこんばんは、本橋菜子です。このアジアカップは、実は私自身大会直前までずっと調子が上がらず悩んだりしてたんですけど、大会入ってここまで来たらやるしかないという思いで無我夢中で、プレーしてました。日本の4連覇、そして MVP に選んでいただいて、うまくいかなかった中でもコツコツできることをやってきてよかったなっていう安堵感と、こういう賞をいただけてやっぱり自信につながった大会でした。決勝戦の注目ポイントは林希選手の連続スリーポイントです。10点近く点数が離れていたんですけど、ここで一気に追いついて前半を終えられたっていうのは本当に大きかったと思います。センター陣のゴール下での体の張りと、フォワード陣のリバウンドやルーズボールへの飛び込みは皆さんにもぜひ注目してほしいと思っています。シューター陣や私にとってもゴール下で体を張ってくれたり、何度もリバウンドに飛び込んでくれることによって思いっきりシュートを打つことができますし、攻めることもできるので本当に心強かったです。それではご覧ください。
Doubt about it, a China team that has really raised eyebrows here in Bengaluru. We just watched Australia dismantle Korea 98-62 to clinch third place, and now it is on to the title game. I'm Jeff Taylor, joined by Mark Mills, and because we have the luxury of following all teams, Mark, and not just one country, we get a chance to really see what this is all about. And it has been an absolute joy watching both China and Japan kind of evolve really for the past several years, but even in this tournament, watching them turn it up a notch game by game.
Yeah, it's certainly building to a wonderful crescendo. We've seen so many games, so many great plays, so much heartbreak, and we're now here. We're at the biggest game of the tournament, so much to play for, biggest crowd of the week. And now the pressure's piled on both of these teams. Japan probably slight favourites, but I would not want to pick which team I think is going to come out and win on this one. We're just set for a wonderful game of international basketball.
Well, each team does have one very important thing in common, and that is that they won big games, important games, vital games against Australia. China, who are being introduced now, beat Australia in group play, which meant they went straight to the semifinals, and they were able to avoid the qualification for the semifinals. And that meant that Australia, after they got to the semifinals, they played Japan. And despite getting on top of Japan early, just like they got on top of China early, it was the traditional Asian teams that finished stronger and really put a hurting on the Opals. So two very convincing wins, important wins for those teams. Zhu Lehman saying last night he felt like his team was ahead of schedule. They did not come to this FIBA Women's Asia Cup thinking they were going to even make it to the final, but here they are, and now they want to take full advantage of it. It would be a huge win for Chinese basketball if the Chinese women could win the title. But again, Japan have been kind of the team of the moment, the team really of the last several years, and they've played like it here in Bengaluru.
Yeah, they certainly have. They have earned their kind of mantle as favourites to take the gold medal for a record-breaking 4th time in a row. Plenty of talent across them, and they managed to rest 3 players in that semi-final as well. So I'll be interested to see, do those fresh legs help them later in the game?
Tom Hovas, the coach of Japan, waves up at the fans. Japan have really been well supported here in Bengaluru, and we're expecting a good one. Right now we're going to have a pause in the commentary for the playing of the national anthems for China and Japan.
Please remain standing for the national anthem of Team Japan.
So the teams meet in midcourt and wish each other luck, good health and all that. And we're going to look at the referees, and it's a great honor for a referee to be named to do a final. Obviously, you can't do it if it's your own country, but it just kind of underlines he's done a good job in the tournament. So here we are lining up representation from New Zealand there. Ryan Tristan Jones on the left, Yi Ji-yoon from Korea, and from the middle, and Imran Ali Baig from India on the right. So it's also good to have a referee from the host, I think. I'm sure he deserves it. But you know, it's great to have him here. So it's a great thing for Indian basketball. And we're gonna look at the rosters for China starting off.
Yeah, China obviously absolutely laden with talent, and the noise from the Chinese fans, they've certainly got them behind them as well. So their roster is probably 13 deep as well tonight with the fans here in the arena. Yang had a big game in the semi-final, 16 points, pretty much all of those coming in the first quarter, though. Really got off to a big start in their semi-final. For me, it's Han Zhu that's really stepped up, had a great semi-final, 17 points, 5 rebounds, 3 blocks, one of which was just the most monstrous slapping noise against the ball you've ever heard. But so much talent in this Chinese roster.
Yeah, good young talent. The question is, it hasn't matured enough to win this big game. Zhu Liman will go with the starting 5 of Yang Liwei, Li Wan, Xiao Ting, Li Yueru, and Chen Mingling.
Yeah, and for me, Xiao Ting or Li Yueru have to have a big game. You have a feeling that they're going to, you know, at least one, if not both of those, are going to step up to the plate and put a big performance here in the final. And as for Japan, again, you know, hard to pick a weak link in the 12 that they've got. Like I said, they rested 3 players, but they didn't rest Motohashi. 22.6 assists, really a huge game in the semis. And Maezawa, 19 points, but more impressively, 15 rebounds in that semi-final. Just a wonderful performance.
So Maki Takada, who's been a little off-color points-wise. Ramu Tokashiki, Rui Machida, Yuki Miyazawa, and Kaho. Is that last one?
It was Akaho was the last one.
我讲的是闪光观察，注意出来机会要果断，没有机会注意要耐心反复。好，没有了我们强点打，防守注意提前观察，提前破坏，提前控制，不要敏感。
Zhu Liman.
主要防的不给他快攻。你就用反攻过。
Tom Hovas coached this Japan team to the title 2 years ago. It was Australia they beat in the final.
Transition attack. Hit. 最初にヘッドやって。Okay? Okay? どうですか? Defense duty. 楽しく。
For me, I'm interested to see how this Japanese team work in the front court. Obviously, Lee and Zhu for China. Big game, big players, and it's down to Coach Hovas to get a plan in place. Is it Tokashiki, is it Takada that's going to pick up some of that defensive burden, because it will be a big defensive burden.
Lots of fans in the house for this one on both sides, and I always find it interesting listening to two national anthems, and Japan's is so what would you call it?
It's almost quietly powerful. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It kind of stirs. It's not that kind of motivational hype music that you get with some national anthems.
Much more reflective.
Yeah, it kind of gets you from within almost, doesn't it?
Boy, they turn into a hurricane or a tsunami once the game goes. I mean, they are powerful, as they have shown really for the past several years. That China hoping maybe to spring what would be considered a mild upset today. Well, good afternoon, late afternoon here in Bengaluru, India. It's Japan winning the opening tip against China in the final of the FIBA Women's Asia Cup, and Miyazawa misses with her first attempt. Lee, who did not start yesterday. Akaho, the other, I think, Japanese player I didn't mention that was in the starting five. But with Motohashi coming off the bench, it just goes to show you the best player is not always in the starting lineup, certainly on the evidence of this tournament. Here is the pass and low to Lee. And now she almost tied up. Lee Yuelu under pressure. Here comes Akaho now.
And that's obviously a clear strategy from Japan. Rather than dealing with the ball once it's gone into the hands of Lee in the post, let's deny the pass. Let's not even let the point guard get a pass into that post.
Takashiki looking to have a big game today, and fouled by Lee.
And that's a statement play by Takashiki. I like the fact that she wants to pick the ball up further away from the basket. Lee does not want to defend Takashiki that far away. She wants to play back to the basket post defense. And I think that could be a great little wrinkle that the Japanese could work on and really exploit. Drag the Chinese bigs away from the rim.
Here's the dump to Ramu Takashiki, two-time MVP of this event. Now Takada goes baseline and gives it a go. Nobody cut the baseline. And now Akaho, after the steal, puts up a difficult one.
Yeah, Lee Yuan with good defense there, quick hands.
Chen Mingling into Lee. Well, that's the power of China. If she catches it that low, she is going to be tough to stop.
Yeah, it's near automatic. Really, Takashiki might look to front the post today as well, or whoever's guarding the likes of Lee and Zhu.
Miyazawa goes in hard. Yang, good defense. Now Xiaoting a spin. Xiaoting already.
How many times have we seen that move and heard that commentary? She's a signature move, but almost unstoppable.
But Takada catches it low, and just difficult to understand what's going on with Takada offensively in this tournament. She's just not been herself, missing this. Maybe she was worried about Lee coming over and blocking the shot, but this is, again, the signature move, as you say, of Xiaoting with the spin. Takashiki.
And we talked about this before the game off mic, you know, that Takashiki, yeah, an important part, but she hasn't been that, you know, hero player that maybe we saw in previous tournaments. But we also said maybe she's saving it for the final. Maybe this is a big game for Takashiki to step out.
Xiaoting! You see players stepping up in the big games.
And you see the fist pump as well from Xiaoting. It means so much to these players this game.
Takada with the pump fake. Shouts of China ringing throughout the arena here in Bengaluru. Takashiki with the air ball, but it falls to Miyazawa, who then forces it up and gets it back. So she knew the shot clock was about to expire.
It's a smart heads-up play, but two really difficult shots for Miyazawa to convert.
terrific yesterday. Now Chen Minglin. Wow, the three-pointer falls for Chen Minglin.
Had a good performance against Philippines, 21 points. Shot the ball really well in that game, Chen Minglin. A little bit quiet since, though.
So give and go, back to Tokashiki, and Lee reached in and forced the turnover.
And that's the one negative side of having Tokashiki so far away from the basketball. From the rim, sorry. The fact that she's going to have to take a couple of dribbles to get to the basket, that gives you opportunity to lock her out.
Xiaoting, who gets in the paint. Tokashiki battling for the ball, but Minglin gets it, and now Lee. Kahu swoops in for the rebound, and his rebound and run now for Japan. Kahu is swatted out of bounds by Lee.
And Lee's come to play, some big plays to start the game. She really has. You can see the determination, though. You know, she's not getting carried away with the play. She's not getting too hyped on the floor. She's just executing both ends of the floor.
Motohashi checks in for the first time. And she inbounds the ball to Tokashiki, who's struggling a little bit early. She fumbled that one away. Lee gets swatted by Akaho.
Oh, this game is not disappointing. And the minutes are flying by. We're halfway through the first quarter already. It's just been blistering. Wonderful exhibition of basketball.
Motohashi. Off the glass, and she is fouled. No team has had an answer from Motohashi.
Literally, she's been on the floor just over 30 seconds, and she's already imposing herself. What a spark from the bench if you can bring Motohashi into the game like that.
Completes the three-point play. Now Xiaoting thought about going to the basket, but it was sealed. Now Tokashiki with the rebound, or the steal. And up to Takada, but Takada ended up passing to herself. Yang gets on the ground, on the hardwood, and they wrestle for the ball. It's a jump ball possession arrow to China.
Interesting to see. I think Japan, as we see the jump ball tie-up, I think Japan are going to jump into a zone on a make. So every time they score, I think they might try and drop into a zone, just mix things up, see if they can lock out the paint.
Yang. Another rebound for Tokashiki. Tokashiki will finish with a double-double, no doubt, but points-wise, she's finding it difficult to come by right now. Xiaoting goes behind her back, but loses it out of bounds. Tokashiki is going to sit down, and Nagaoka is going to come into the game.
Not a great start for Tokashiki, just one make out of her first 3 attempts, and that last one, then you saw her just go up against Lee. It's not advisable. That's not where she has the advantage against Lee. She needs to be patient and let the Chinese defense give her something.
Again, Motohashi, this time too hard off the glass. Xiaoting fakes, now turns, puts it up. Lee rebounds over Miyazawa without Tokashiki in, and puts it in. And that's the dilemma when you take Tokashiki out. And Nagaoka can't control, can't catch the pass. And now we're going to have another jump ball situation, and this time it'll be Japan possession.
And I like that tactic from Japan on that end. Obviously, almost unstoppable Lee on the offensive end. But as soon as they see Lee is embedded in the paint on the offensive end, they're looking to leak out. They're looking to run the transition, get down the floor, because they know, one, if Lee does try and attempt to run transition defense, she's going to wear herself out pretty quickly. And two, she probably isn't going to be able to run, 30 meters in the time necessary to protect the rim.
So Wang and Wu check in now for China. And getting a look at that depth of both teams here early. 6 minutes into the game. Pass to Takada. She's double teamed. Passes to an open Akaho. That's good. Somebody's going to be open when you're doubled.
Smart play by Takada. She didn't panic when the double came across. Just looked around, looked for the open player, and Akaho, lucky recipient, and drains a three.
Wu. Picked up by Wang, and Wang not able to get the ball to go in, and a foul called in China. Scrap for the rebound, I think on, is it Wu or Lee?
I think it might be on Wu.
Lee's going to go out. Yeah, it was on Wu Tong Tong. And Hangzhou makes her first entry into the game as Lee takes a seat.
Not a bad first 6.5 minutes. 4 points, 4 rebounds, an assist, a steal, a block. She's certainly stepping up to the big game.
Gao Song also comes into the game. Motohashi and Hangzhou with the rebound, her first of many, no doubt. Now she hands it off. Wu from deep, count it!
Phenomenal start from outside from China. 3 from 4 to start the game.
That's 2 of 2 for Wu. Wu Tong Tong. Motohashi this time gets it to Takada. That's more like Maki Takada.
Maybe that'll jumpstart her offense. She hasn't really had many big games. Just a couple of games where she scored double digits.
Hangzhou, right idea, but doesn't make it. And Motohashi up ahead to Akaho. That is beautiful.
This is breathtaking basketball from both teams at the moment. Absolutely wonderful exhibition of Asian women's basketball we've got in front of us. The way Japan are trying to push the ball hard, the intricacy of the Chinese offense is just great to watch.
Hangzhou, Wang, Gao Song, shot clock winding down. 3 seconds, the call on Hangzhou. He's not allowed to camp in the lane.
She needed the pass slightly earlier. Shot clock was almost down to 1, I think, when the 3-second violation was called. But what a game we've got.
Motohashi pulls up with the strike. Wow. Gao Song now, and her attempt rims in. But the great thing about Motohashi, or one of the great things about her, is she shows basketball is not just a game played by big people. I mean, she is the smallest person on the court, and she might just be the best. Here she is from 3, as time short. Who passes to Wang. And she gets it to Gao Song, and Takada backs it out. Wu has it. Good box out by Nakaoda. Again, Motohashi motors up the floor. Bounce pass. And I don't know that Nagaoka was ready for that.
Yeah, no, I think Japan maybe need to make some changes as well. Miyazawa has played the whole game as Akaho starting to look a little bit blowy as they're jumping up and down the floor, and you could see that last possession Miyazawa played a little bit of lazy defense as well, and you can't afford to do that in the final of the Asia Cup.
Hongju with a jumper, that's her game.
China have already played 10 of their 12, whilst Japan have only used 7.
She pulls up, short. Here comes Wu, and not quite enough time for Wu and China, but they'll take what they've got, and that's a lead at the end of the first quarter. China on top, 19-17.
And the first quarter certainly hasn't disappointed. The shooting stat to take out of that, though, has to be the 3 from 5 from China from outside. 60% in that opening quarter from the perimeter. Neither team really getting to the free-throw line at the minute. That's not playing a factor. I think that will change as the game progresses. But Lee has been dominant for China in the low post. Whenever she gets the ball low enough, she's going to score. And the Xiaoting spinner's already had an outing, and a successful one at that, for 2 off the glass. But a really close first quarter, neither team taking control of the game. The one thing I would say, though, is China has rotated through their roster an awful lot more than the Japanese have. And that might not pay short-term dividends, but when we get into the fourth quarter and there's tired legs, I have a feeling the Chinese legs might be a little bit less tired than the Japanese if the rotations continue in the same vein.
Japan beat China in the final of this competition back in 2015. And of course, they beat him in the semifinals 2 years ago here in Bengaluru. But China beat Japan in the qualification to the quarterfinals at last year's FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup in Tenerife. So nice rivalry between these teams. Japan have at various times been the dominant team of Asia, but really it's been a mantle that Japan. They've been the team to beat since winning back in 2013. And Hongju, they had a good play for her, but she didn't make the shot. Now Japan comes back looking to tie it or take the lead. Nagaoka from deep. Takashiki back in the game. Song from 3. And the ball batted out to the perimeter where Takashiki corrals it. Horahashitu again to Nagaoka, and it goes off. I don't know if she got her hands on it, but it goes out of bounds back to China.
Yeah, no, couldn't really see from our angle what happened there. It looked like an awful pass, but surely there's, yeah, there is. That's an interception, you know. That's one missed by the officials. But Japan didn't plead their case too hard either on that one. Maybe they should have asked the officials a little bit stronger.
Hangju from deep. And into Gao Song now.
China just showing more green shoots at the moment of how they play basketball than Japan. Miyazawa with the fake as he gets rejected by Hongju. That's just not the play you want to run if you're Korea going against Hangzhou. It's, you know, not the play that you're going to get high percentage shots from.
Bounce pass, Wu. Whoa, just grazes the outside of the net.
It's interesting, both teams have kind of stumbled out of the blocks in this second quarter. Just China to register 2 points in nearly the opening 2 minutes of the game. 2 minutes of the quarter, and potentially whichever team gets their act together on the offensive end early in this second quarter could open up a lead, because neither team are looking as confident as they did in the first.
Again and misses again, so not quite as perfect as she seemingly has been the last few times out. Good job, Motokawa coming up with the basketball.
Yeah, really good job. 2 plays there, not just that hustle to get hold of the ball, but the stand that she took on the defensive end as well. But 8-second violation called.
Wow. Seeing some uncharacteristic play from Japan here, not only with the missed shots, but so Motahashi's going to go out, and Rui Mashida's going to come back into the game.
And you have to give, you know, credit to China for coming in and disrupting that. This isn't just Japan not playing at their level. This is China making sure they don't. They're disrupting what they're trying to do.
So now China.
And the situation you have there, they were becoming infatuated with trying to get the ball to Lee in the post. That was, you know, they were completely blinkered. That was the only thing they wanted to do. And Tokushiki played great. She fronted for a phase, she got behind for a phase, and really mixed it up on the defensive end. And that might be a key to defending Lee.
Tokushiki from the baseline, gets it back, puts it up again, misses, stays with it. Can't quite get it to go. But she earns a trip to the line.
And that's the second foul on Lee as well. We're going to be interested to see what coach Yu Li-ming does with that, whether he keeps Lee in or not, trusts her to manage her own foul situation. And the ref's currently 0 from 2.
He's got to practice more.
And that might be why he's a ref.
Tokushiki, another free throw miss. It's 1 of 2. You know, China have had such a great start. Lee goes out, Hangzhou comes back in, and you know, with China, you're thinking Japan are eventually going to find their stride, so you better take advantage of this lead and try to build it. Lee steps back, shot clock about to expire, puts up a difficult one. Machida back to Maki Takada. Akaho with the board, but then throws it out of bounds.
Yeah, like you said, this is for China to capitalize on. You know, you've seen a vulnerable Japanese side, and that's not something you've said that, you know, I don't think we've said that in this tournament so far.
Japan are out rebounding China, but China are outscoring Japan. Yang, who was so good yesterday against Korea, she now makes her first 3. Akaho. So the active hands of China causing all sorts of problems now on defense for Japan. And Tom Hovas has seen enough. He wants to change things up a little bit or serve up some reminders here to his team.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Over 4 minutes gone in this quarter and they're yet to score a field goal. Just 1 point from the free throw line. That's not what you expect from Japan at all.
lift. Okay? 1ヶ月前にスイッチ全部やったけど、今はもうスイッチやってないから、うちの方、相手の方。まあ transition よく走って。
这个给大海养护啊，给大海养护，给高中养护的53有吗？啊，那么防守时大家注意，就是干嘛？我就往里头赶，我给你提了2分，完然后大家注意弱侧协防你猜的嘛，上篮，其他他只要没3分，大家外围不动不轮转，
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Ultimately, the only saving grace for Japan is that China haven't quite got their offense firing in this second quarter either. So that's what's kept it an exceptionally close affair as we see a exceptionally young Chinese fan there.
Never too young to be a fan. This is almost as they could take the occasional nap in the game.
Not in this one.
They get the occasional milk bottle. Yang, little alley-oop, and Rui Machida. Japan deny them. Take some time off, but Lee did a great job of hustling back to get the basketball. Han has to launch it and does. Just such a silky smooth jump shot.
But poor defense by Tokushika there. She knows that she can shoot the ball. That's Han's range perfectly. She needs to step out, get a hand in the face at least. Way too far away. It's not like Han's going to dribble drive past you.
Machida goes up and gets swatted by Han. Now Lee. Lee again. Gets inside, puts it up, and scores! How about that from China?
And China are starting to step up the gears a little bit. You can feel it in the crowd as well as on the floor. Japan are looking a little bit shaken at the moment.
And Yang knocks it away. Wu steps back. They've really turned it up a notch, the Chinese. And a dump and out of reach for Hongzhou, but the biggest lead of the game, China. And they're just winning important battles. The play of Hongzhou has been very impressive on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, she's been really influential. Yeah, already got 2 blocks and 4 points, 2 boards. And she's more than that, she's just causing problems. She's tough to guard and she's you know, almost impossible to drive against.
Yashi trying to spark Japan, as she has in this tournament. Motohashi back in. Tokushiki, little fade. Takada, good rebound. And look at the active hands yet again from Lee and China.
If I'm Coach Hovas now, I'm thinking I'd be tempted to go small ball. Take Tokushiki out of the game, let Takada guard Hangzhou. Because Hangzhou's not strong in the post, she's just got range. So play some small ball, make Hangzhou come out and play perimeter defense, get some shooters on the floor and spread the floor as wide as you can. Because at the moment with Hangzhou just guarding, you know, the rim protection, you're not getting any high percentage shots. You're going to have to rely on outside shots. So I'd go small ball.
They do have 4 good shooters on the floor. Takada almost loses it, puts it up on the baseline, and that was a big-time shot with Hongzhou standing in front of her.
And Takada's certainly having a much better performance today.
She is.
Much, much better, much more influential.
for Japan.
Yeah, one chalked up to Takada. Nice little hesitation dribble. Good work by Yang.
Both free throws. And China up by 10. How big can they build this lead? Might Japan make a little run here? And tough drive and finish from Motohashi.
And this is exactly what Japan need. They need someone that's going to create a bit of a spark on the offensive end. And to be honest, based on the entire tournament, Motohashi's the one that can do it. She's not had a great start to the game, but she's not a player that will let that affect her.
That's a good point. Now Xiaoting spins, but they cut her off. Chen Mingling gets it back to Xiaoting. And very alert, Takada not making the pass with Yang looming. Really Motohashi and Yang that are, Motohashi and Takada that are leading the team, but also now it's Hayashi.
And have you seen what Japan are doing now? Exactly what I said, but Tokashiki's literally going nowhere near the paint. She's standing on the perimeter, and Han Ju's kind of like, I don't want to go and guard the perimeter. I want to protect the rim, but I've got to go some of the way because, you know, Tokashiki can shoot as well.
But here's Han Ju, and she can shoot.
And the impact she's having on this game, and the last couple of games, she's really warmed up through the tournament.
Motohashi. Back to Miyazawa.
Good defensive recovery there from Xiaoting. Looked like all was lost for her, but she managed to get her feet right and get a hand in the face.
Xiaoting gets in, is denied by Tokashiki. Motohashi quickly up the floor, 3-on-2 break. Miyazawa faked the pass, and great hustle by Yang to get back and put her off the layup, but it's Hayashi that gets it again and knocks it in from deep. Here comes Japan.
And that moves Japan 4 from 9 from outside, and oh wow, the inbound passes to absolutely no one from Chen Mingling.
Chen Mingling, what are you doing? You saw it happen a couple times in the previous game as well.
And you can see the reaction straight away from Coach Xu Liming. Double change coming in.
I think to replace Chen Mingling after a mistake like that might hurt her confidence, so he's probably going to leave her in.
Yeah, she's staying in. Wise move. Like you say, you in a final, you can't afford to break someone's confidence like that. That sub would have done.
How good is Hongju?
Scary good. That's on the level.
To a different level in the final.
Yeah.
Hayashi again. She's got the hot hand. Look at her. She's bringing Japan back.
And it's literally like this is a completely different Japanese team on the floor to 2 minutes ago. What a game we have. Unbelievable way to finish off this Asia Cup.
China have played so well, yet they lead by just 1. Chen Mingling open and making up for that mistake with a three-pointer. And that's why you leave her in the game.
Absolutely. Chen Mingling showed a couple of games ago she can really get hot and score in a hurry. Smart move by the coaching staff.
And Motokawa, or Hayashi rather, fumbled it. Good defense by Wu. Look at the pressure. They're just thriving on the emotion China generated by the Chen Mingling three-pointer.
And I love the reaction of Coach Xu Liming. He literally offered up every refereeing signal you could. It was a hand on the arm, it was a push, it was an he was just trying to there's surely something that's happened that can help us at this point. Shows how much it means to the coaches and the players alike.
Another timeout with 11.7 seconds remaining, and this is what we call barn burner. 35-31, China lead it, and Japan have possession, and the X factor, Hayashi, with 9 points, leading the way.
往下。好。
大丈夫ですか？はい。決めてね。最後決めて。はい。Let's go。
好，那么大家这个时候要注意轮转快，再回来大家录着就和篮板球，不要犯规，受到犯规记录了。好，那没关系，不是啊，没关系，完了这个。
Just an amazing show of skill from both teams at the moment. Just unbelievable. What a final.
Chen Mingling. Tell you, people stepping up here, X factors. I know Chen Mingling is in the starting five, but this is a big stage. Motohashi drives in and is swatted by Guo. 2 seconds.
And I like that. I like that defensive assignment. They put Guo on, who obviously has far longer limbs than Motohashi has. She's still got quick footwork, though. Really good defensive assignment for that one.
Now Yang comes in. I don't know if they're anticipating because they're going to get the ball back. Quick racing down the floor for a transition or even a three. Well, they get a look. Miyazawa nails a three! And China, well, they've just got so many players you got to guard. I mean, what can you say? Gao Song was there. She kind of bit instead of setting her feet to play defense and allowed Miyazawa just to slide to her right and to hit the three-pointer.
Unbelievable first half basketball. I'm left breathless at the moment.
Indeed, it's China, though, leading 35-34 over Japan at halftime of the FIBA Women's Asia Cup final. Well, this is what it is all about, folks. Championship game, two great nations of basketball trading blows with each other. And what a next 20 minutes, but look back at the shooting.
Unbelievable from the outside. 55% for Japan, 50% for China. Both teams, you know, leaning heavily, almost half their points coming from the perimeter. Just breathtaking performances. In a moment, Japan leading the rebounding race. China will be concerned that they've given away 9 offensive rebounds for Japan, but what an amazing second quarter of action. It took Japan 5 minutes to score a field goal, and they then finished up with 17 points in that quarter. Just a huge second half, and you know, second 5 minutes of that quarter for Japan, and it came from across the roster as well. It wasn't just one player taking the team on their back.
Isn't it great, though, to see potential turn into greatness with the likes of Hangzhou? I mean, this might be the platform for her to go on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, absolutely massive platform for Hangzhou to move on to bigger and better things. Obviously, she went into the WNBA draft this year for the Liberty. That's who she was drafted by as 14th pick. But you just kind of think, what's the limit for these two teams? You know, where do they go to? You know, Hangzhou at the half is owned 6 points, 2 rebounds, an assist, 2 blocks, really lighting up the box score. But you look across both teams, you know, and there's contributions from everyone, and that's what's making it such a wonderful game, because if you're a coach, trying to defend against multiple threats is difficult. If you've only got 1 and 2 players you need to lock down, i.e. Lee and Hangzhou, then fine, but you don't have that.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I'm impressed. I'm impressed by China. I mean, they have surprised me in this tournament, and the pace that they play, their perimeter game is good, but they're quick hands on defense, and I love the fact, the potential of China, when you consider they've got Hangzhou and Lee Yueru in that low post, is frightening for women's basketball.
When you bear in mind their average age is 23.
Yeah. I mean,
this is a juniors team. This isn't even a kind of what people would consider a seniors team. You think they're performing at this level now. If you can keep this roster stable and together for years to come, where do they go in the big tournaments, in the World Cups and potentially in the Olympics? It could be near the top step of the podium. A real dynasty, a golden age of Chinese women's basketball could be ahead of them.
Well, It's great to see, and I know that Zhu Lehman has been working hard with them, and I mean, I think his character. If I had any criticism of him in the past, certainly 2 years ago, I felt like he was a little bit too hard on him, and I haven't really seen that from my perspective in this tournament. So I think he understands they're young, they're going to make mistakes like Chen Mingling did with that turnover. He stuck with her, and she immediately rewarded him with a three-pointer. I mean, it's just been an awesome first half of basketball, and to the point that even with the likes of Xiaoting for China and Ramu Takashiki, arguably the headline names in this game, they've played peripheral roles. And it's been the other players that have really stood up. I know that Takashiki has done some a lot of the other work in terms of she's only got 3 points of 1 in 6 shooting, but she does have 4 rebounds, a block, and a steal. So it's all hands on deck is what it boils down to. When you see Hayashi come off the bench and hit those three-pointers, she ends up leading him in scoring in the first half. It's again, it's like pick your poison. You got to guard everybody. If you're gonna, the problems that are presented in a game like this is if you try to take away a team's inside game, whether it's a low post giant like Hongju or you try to cut off the penetration, these teams can shoot the basketball from three-point range. So plenty of questions being asked of both defenses, and the defenses have been solid. 35-34 is not like it's a bad defensive game either. So awesome FIBA Women's Asia Cup. We're halfway there. We will be right back for the start of the second half. It's China on top 35-34 against Japan.
Sensation from Korea, Park Ji-hoon. Oh, look at that, catches it. He just lays it up so gracefully.
Zhu with 6 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. That only tells part of the story of her in the first half. I mean, her presence has been dominating. She's also swatted a couple of shots, and she has helped China get a 35-34 lead. Of course, both of these teams were able to overcome Australia, perhaps the pick of many teams, or many people rather, to win this thing before this event. But FIBA Asia is, well, it has been really the domain of Japan in recent times, and now China threatening that supremacy has been outstanding. Hayashi, she came off the bench and gave Japan a lift when they were in real trouble, hitting not just 1, not just 2, but 3 3-pointers, and has really, in a way, Mark, almost saved them.
Yeah, she really has, and again, it's kind of the story of the tournament. The unexpected hero steps into the mantle, and you know, as much as Hayashi's got a huge amount of talent, it's a big step-up game that she's putting in more and more action.
India coach Zoran Visic among those watching the final. We just saw Sandy Brondello of Australia.
What a 20 minutes of basketball we've got ahead of us. What a roller coaster we had in the first 20 minutes, and it's really this time where you see the big players, the superstars, come to the top, rise to the surface, and they take on these games. And you just wonder from which side is that superstar going to come, or is it going to be a superstar from each side, and they just go at it head to head for the rest of the game. It's just been phenomenal first 20. Excited to see what the second 20, but whichever team ends up with a gold medal around their neck is going to have earned it.
It's as exciting as it gets. The final is turning out to be that way for the FIBA Women's Asia Cup. It was exactly that way 2 years ago when Japan edged Australia in a thriller, and now it's China and Japan really trading blows.
And the one thing I find interesting, just to update the people watching and listening into us, is that China didn't really come out and have much of a warm-up in that half-time. They pretty much only come out 2-3 minutes ago, whereas Japan were out early. They had a good 10 minutes of warm-up, shooting, getting some reps up, getting themselves back into the flow of action. I'll be interested to see who that benefits, the extra rest for China or the reps and the warm-up for Japan.
Second half underway, Japan trailing by 1 against China in what has been a dramatic title game. Well played, both teams. Ramu Takashiki goes in, and, well, I think she made that layup harder than it needed to be as she was defended by Lee. And now China have a chance to stretch the lead again. Lee puts up a 3! And she shows the 3 fingers.
Yeah, she's throwing the threes to the Chinese crowd in the stands, and they absolutely loved it. What a way to start the second half for Lee.
She was huge in the win over New Zealand, coming to life late in the second quarter. Ramu Takashiki again, and again, Ramu Takashiki doesn't go up strong, and Lee goes to the other end and makes a layup. So now Lee takes center stage.
And Lee did this earlier in the tournament in that crunch game they had in their group against Australia. Lee stepped forward just before halftime in that game, but it's just after halftime in this one.
Miyazawa, she left her feet. She's going to shoot it, then she didn't. And Takada picks it up. And talking about Hayashi being a savior, so has Takada.
Yeah, she's joint leading them in scoring with 9 points now, but it's probably more the 6 rebounds that have been the big part of Takada's game.
Well, just watching the interaction between Takashiki and Tom Hovash, you just wonder if he's going to have a short leash with Takashiki after those 2 misses. Here's Gao Song penetrating. And the foul leads to the ball going the other way.
Yeah, Wu called for the foul, but yeah, the relationship between Tom Hovass and Takashiki was interesting because they sat next to each other on the bench while the rest of the team were warming up, and you almost felt, obviously we couldn't listen into it, but you almost felt like it was a heart-to-heart conversation. And maybe it is just a kind of arm around her shoulder saying, this is how you need to play the game. And if she's not going to do that, ultimately Coach Hovas, like you say, will make the change.
Motohashi goes to her right. Shot clock winding down. She's going to blow past go. No, she's going to go up with the left hand. Motohashi gets it back. Miyazawa open. That's good. That's Miyazawa, who has really come to the fore in the business end of this tournament.
Yeah, 19 points, 15 rebounds in the semi-final, and you want to worry if she starts lighting up.
Lee has good position on Takashiki, and then Takada comes around and forces a turnover, and boy, Lee just slams the hardwood.
Still not a fan of how Japan are playing Lee in the post as much as that one worked.
Ooh, wow, that was like
did.
timber.
Yeah, that really was.
Hongju appealing for a foul.
And I still think Japan need to change how they're playing Lee in the post.
That play looks to have upset Lee. See, she takes it out on Takashiki. Motohashi back inside, and Lee bats the ball away. It was intended for Takada. Now Wu quickly to Lee. And Wu pulls her way in and banks it in.
And that was just a matter of the strength of Wu against Motohashi, and it worked.
Bounce pass. Oh, again, and that is beautiful basketball.
And we are seeing the Takada we expected to see. All tournament, we are seeing exactly the Takada we expected to see. She saved it for this big game.
And Wu spinning, loses it. Now Motohashi in the open floor. It's a 3-on-2 break. Motohashi decides to shoot it, and it rims out. You feel all of a sudden Japan might be on the verge of a run.
Yeah, if they can get some of these shots to drop, there could be a surge.
But Wu becoming a problem. She denied there. Takada wide open right corner. That's good. Japan back in front.
And that was down to Wu not being able to play transition defense because she'd taken a bit of a fault on the original play offense from China. And that's the key. You get that opening, you get that advantage in a final, you've got to make them pay.
Gao right at the stripe. Ties it. Motohashi, oh, again, the bounce pass, and Takashiki lays it up and in, and it's that type of play where Motohashi has really underlined her status as an elite point guard.
And there's your lead for Japan, exactly as you were saying, Jeff. You have a feeling that they're teetering on the edge of a big run here, Japan. China need to change something.
Gao Song from deep. Now up ahead it goes to Akaho. Takada. Motohashi goes right in and tried for the layup. Now that triggers a break for China. Lee. Into Lee. And Takashiki took the pump fake and committed the foul, and wisely didn't wrap herself up on Lee, or that would have been unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, it would. Just a nice straightforward foul. The interesting play for me was on the previous possession for China, though, where Japan completely denied the ball in the hands of the point guard, and China looked completely lost. It's almost as if they have no option off their offensive set if the ball doesn't start in the hands of the point guard. So I'm sure that's something Coach Hovas will look at and jump onto in this timeout.
站住。你看这个球在45度，大家注意，少田你们都是。
相手のベースライン。一回ディレイやって。今相手がスイッチやってないから。いやもう一回チェイス。スイッチやってない。ちゃんとスクリーンにドライブ、ダイブ。
I can almost translate that for you. Same again, please. I think was what Honpas was saying on that. Drive to the basket and dish.
Call that Janglish?
Well,
Because that was like
do the Japanese
and then
yeah, do the Japanese have a name for kind of drive to the basket and screen? They might not. Yeah.
No idea. Still plenty of time for Xiaoting to make her mark in this game. She's in there with Lee. Yang now is going to inbound it. Wang has also come into the game. Kind of the forgotten player for China. And Xiaoting denied by Takashiki, and then the ball thrown out right into the hands of Akaho, who goes up and controls the ball with the left hand.
And this is a treacherous period for China now. They're not finding the offense easy like they did. For me, they need to go back to Lee or bring her back into the game. That's when they were most productive.
Lee Wan, the point guard, yeah.
Good defense by Takashiki, though, front in the post.
Gao gets it back. Shot clock winding down. Lee gets it, turns, powerful move. But clearing out, they have called a charge.
Oh, wow. I don't think any on the China or the bench are aware at all. They think it's a foul against Lee, not on Lee. That's her third as well. That's her third foul called.
Now Lee just realizes the foul is on her. It goes to the other direction.
And that's forced the change.
And by bringing in Han Zhu, obviously you bring in a player that can play a little bit further away from the paint. That might open things up for China offensively.
Yeah, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world because China have struggled on the offensive end, so a change is good.
Motohashi from the stripe. That's good. All of a sudden, the lead is 6 for Japan.
Yeah, and it's the first time, really, pretty much in this tournament, we've seen China rattled.
Now, Wang, who has the ball, was the star in the upset of Australia. But Gao Song is misfiring. I would not be surprised if she comes out soon.
You can almost hear the cogs of Coach Zhu for China, trying to work out what's the changes he needs. How does he need to restructure both ends of the floor to change the flow?
Takashiki's pass intercepted by Wang. Yang, oh, what a pass. Gao Song turns and scores.
Yeah, you're right. That play was purely that pass by Yang. Such a difficult angle and to throw it at that pace as well. Wonderful distribution.
For Yang, I'm really impressed by her play. I've grown to realize how important she is to this Chinese team. Motohashi, unreal! Smallest player on the court, scoring over the tallest player in Asia.
And like you said earlier, it's wonderful to see because it just makes you realize in basketball, size almost at a certain level becomes irrelevant.
And Yang denied by Miyazawa. And the game really is starting to get away from China. They need a stop and they need points.
The only thing you can take of a benefit at the moment is Japan are massively in the ascendancy. They're completely on top of this game and they've only been able to open a 6-point lead like China before. Japan need to capitalize now. They need to open up a bigger lead while they have control of the game.
Yeah, that's a good point. Takashiki. Ball batted out from behind by Miyazawa. It's a break for Japan again. It's where they thrive. For China, stand tall. And Takashiki fouls Hongju.
Wow. And this is what we've said about Hongju. She's, you know, started the tournament quietly and she's got better and better. And it's just the range of her game. You know, you usually see players of that size that have a back to the basket, drop step kind of move or a float to the middle or something. But for her to be able to pivot and fade away with such the softest of touch, you said it in yesterday's game, she's almost better in those situations than she is close to the basket.
Oh, yeah, she is. And Takashiki, you know, she just had a pass intercepted that turned, I think, into a fast break and points, and now she's committed the foul, which gives China potential three-point play. And it is indeed. And again, Japan, you know, they were up by 6. They had a fast break. They didn't score. China coming right back. Motohashi, Takashiki, blocked by Hongju. Starting to get into the MVP conversation, Hongju. Now she's battling down low for position. She's surrounded, though. That's how you have to do it. Miyazawa, 301 break. Motohashi.
What a game for Motohashi, yet again stepping up exactly when a team needs her. She's up to 15 points down, 7 assists.
Yang goes in fast. Oh, what a finish.
And the pace of this game, this must be the highest paced game we've had in the entire tournament. It's just electric.
And it's about to finish the third quarter, only 14 seconds. Japan will hold it for 1, or at least they'll try to. The pick. Now Motohashi. Back to Takashiki. She has to put it up, and she does not get it off in time. Not a well-run play at the end of the quarter. And with that, Japan lead it 54-51 over China in a FIBA Women's Asia Cup final thriller.
And the third quarter just carried on where we left off at halftime. Here's your shooting stats. Unbelievable shooting stats from Japan. 62% from outside, and China shooting 50% from outside. But it's closer to the basket. We saw a lot of the action in that third quarter. Lee for China started things with the 3 in the breakaway layup, and it looked like China were going to get into the ascendancy. And we talked about it. You have to make hay while the sun is shining. While you have someone like Japan slightly struggling, you need to pull away as far as you can, and China weren't able to do it. And off the back of that, Japan now hold a 3-point lead, and once again the game just sits in the balance. And for us it's wonderful because it sits in the hands of some extremely talented players, be it Hongju of China or Motohashi of Japan. Just talent all over this floor.
Yeah, this is so good. I could just sit here and do it all again.
Yeah, I wish we had 6 quarters instead of 4. I'm not going to lie. This is a game you relish, but it seems to go past so quickly.
Well, fortunately for us, we don't have early flights, so we can. At least I did, but I changed it. So, hey, let's do this triple overtime thing. How about it?
Let's go for it. I'm happy for that. I would not complain if this went to overtime. I really would not.
Well, this is great for international basketball to have this type of final, the second consecutive FIBA Women's Asia Cup. With, you know, such a high
drama,
play,
just drama as well.
And also seeing, you know, different characters emerging. The emergence of Hongju has to be possibly the most exciting thing about this FIBA Women's Asia Cup. But certainly Motohashi has played her role for Japan. And now Rui Machida has checked back into the game for Japan. Also, Hayashi, who turned the game for Japan in the first half when they were really teetering, number 27. Hongju, she's automatic. She isn't missing from mid-range, folks.
And this is the interesting thing. China have almost rolled their dice early. Leave Hongju in the game, burn her kind of fourth quarter energy up early, whilst Motohashi is resting to start this fourth.
Rui Machida getting ready to take on. No, she's going to put up the jumper. Rims out, but Akaho flies in and then forced it perhaps. Now the pass back out by Takada. Machida again, 2 on the shot clock. Hayashi for 3, this time misses badly.
No, she wasn't set at all there. She was fading to the right. She took that shot, wasn't stable.
Now Hongzhu, she's not missing. See if she goes again. With a little 1-2 with Yang. Guo, nowhere to go. She runs into Takada, turns it over. Hayashi on the break, up ahead to Machida. Japan back in front by 3.
Wow. This just game, the momentum shifts become even shorter now. China look like they started well again, but once again, Japan just seems to have answers.
Timeout. As China want to discuss the way forward.
咱们打来打去，我在外面持球突破，你们不能拿持球跟对方突破，打什么机会？要打这样的机会。空手掩护的机会，不要打持球掩护的机会，懂吗？明白我们吧？通过所有的配合都打空手掩护，然后在这当中下盘，你看这球，你俩小宝，你俩一回球，第一下。
And I find it interesting, even in its own right, that coach Zhu Liming is going to take a timeout now. He's burnt 2 of his 3 second-half timeouts, and we've still got 8 minutes 40 left into this game. If we get into a nip-and-tuck final minute of the game, he's only going to have 1 opportunity to call a timeout, 1 opportunity to advance the ball. I don't think China were playing that bad in that first 1 minute and 20 of the final quarter to worth burning your second of 3 timeouts. Coach Hovas still has 3 sitting there ready to go.
Song, Hangzhu, and Gao Song, Xiaoting also in the game. Nagaoka, Takada, Koa, Hayashi, and Rui Machida for Japan. And Akaho hits it out of bounds.
And that shot was, for me, maybe 50 centimeters too far, half a meter too far for Hangzhu to be comfortable. That's starting to stretch her range a little bit too far at the moment, but I still love the fact she's got the confidence to take that jumper.
And the final seconds, Yang not able to find an open teammate.
And what I don't get is you've got Hangzhu, who towers above everyone. You literally throw the ball up in the air to her and she's going to be able to receive the inbound. She was 1 meter away.
Machida over to Akaho, and Hangzhu was looming, so they didn't attempt the layup and settled for a missed jumper. Hangzhu, that's her range right there. She's going to turn back outside to Gao. Now she gets it again. Oh, what about that? We haven't seen that. She follows her own miss. 13 points now for Han. Kick, so 14 seconds put back on the shot clock. You got a couple of veterans really, and Gao and Xiaoting. Now Gao's going to come out and be replaced by Chen Mingling, and also Li Wan is going to come back in for Wang.
And Xiaoting's obviously been really quiet in this game, only 5 points. She's played 20 minutes of action, but she's that kind of player where she'll just turn up for that one play, win the title, and off you walk. You know, and that's it. And that's the kind of depth that they have. And how great is it for a coach, you know, to know that she's had a quiet game, but still go to her at the back end of the game and go, okay, we're going to put the ball in your hands. You're the one that's going to win this for us.
And Miyazawa back in with Tokashiki now, and Motohashi, right off the bench hits the 2. She's got 15 points, 7 of 15 from the floor. Tokushiki battling with Hongzhu. Hongzhu gets it back and draws the foul. She's starting to dominate the game down low.
If I'm Japan, I'm thinking, how do I cope with Hongzhu at the moment? She's wanting to go into the low post. Okay, I'm almost tempted to put an undersized player on her, front in the post, but tell the rest of the team, you know, as soon as the pass goes over the top, we need to double across. So the rotation has to come across and play defense at the back. Because if you front her, she's going to want to move further away from the basket so that the lob pass is easier. But they've got to do something, because at the moment she's just writing her own paycheck.
He makes one of two, 58-56. Motohashi on the break, 17 points.
You literally don't need to say that she scored anymore. You just say a name and leave it at that, because you know it's going in. Just automatic, unbelievable performance. Almost a level above from the semi-final performance.
Nago Motohashi, remember that name. Arguably her best tournament ever. Hongzhu, meanwhile, turns. We're running out of superlatives. 16 points for Hongzhu.
And what I love is you've got the smallest player on the court dominating for Japan and the biggest player on the court dominating for China, and it's just dealing up a wonderful Asia Cup final.
Motohashi, oh, beautiful play. Little wraparound bounce pass to Takada, who again has really had her best game in the tournament. 14 points from Maki Takada.
Yeah, an 8th assist there for Motohashi as well. She's providing and scoring, doing pretty much everything.
Yang. Well, I don't know how you go away from Hongzhu the way that she's playing.
Much better defense. Japan forced that to happen because they doubled across on her. They forced the ball to have to be moved by China. I think that's a great tactic.
Motohashi.
This is unreal. This is one of the best performances I have seen on a basketball court, period. No competition, not talking about level or anything like that. She is just taking control of this game right now.
She's got 19 points. Ooh, Chen Minglin has to watch the right arm. Li Yuan. That's good. Well, Li Yuan just is so brave, isn't she?
Just the confidence, you know. The ball's not been in her hands very often, but when it has, she still has the confidence to rely on that shot.
Motohashi again! Unreal! She has fallen from the heavens, folks, and landed in Japan. She is not of this world. Hongzhu, the pass, beautiful play to Yang. Four minutes and 20 seconds to go. Motohashi again. This time gives it to Takada, gets it back, and she goes past Hongzhu. I don't know if she was tired, if she slipped, but she couldn't keep up with her.
And this is what I was talking about. China rolled their card early. They put Hongzhu from the start of the fourth quarter. She's played 6 minutes. She's tired now. They're going to make the change, and it looks like they're going to bring Lee in her place. Whereas Japan waited. They gave Motohashi an extra 3-4 minutes rest.
Yang double teamed. And a foul called on Motohashi.
Could have been about 4 fouls called in that play.
But you feel for Hongzhu. I mean, she has been terrific, but she's not Superwoman. She has gotten tired. And Motohashi, meanwhile, as you mentioned, had the break, and she's come out and taken her game to new heights today.
It's unreal. The performance from her is unreal. 24 points, 10 from 18 from 2, only 1 from 2 from the outside. But it's not just been a selfish performance from her. 8 assists to her name as well.
绕前，然后一会儿转移球的时候再换回来，懂吗？注意加强内线进攻和突破，有明显的2、3分机会，中卫再投篮，快攻是可以的。
Yeah, Motohashi, she put up 21 points against Korea, 22 against Australia. She now has 24 in the final against China, and she is just, it's like she's entered the matrix. She's just playing in a completely different dimension to everyone else at the moment.
I mean, look at that, 24 and 8.
Wow. And like you say, you feel for Hongzhu, because if Motohashi wasn't on the floor, Hongzhu would just be the standout superstar right now.
Yang gets it to the baseline, brings it back out. Now she gets it to Lee Yuaru. She's thinking about it. Now Yang for three. She's off target. And Motohashi thought about pushing it quickly. Now she slows up. She has two speeds, fast and faster. And Lee is trying to keep up with her. Shot clock down to 7. They get the mismatch. Now she's on Gao Song. Pulls up, takes a tough jumper in the lane. Then flying in. And she didn't hit anything, so good job switching and defending by China. Lee again asking for the ball. She's got to watch the elbows, and Takashiki knocks it away.
She's got to watch the 3 seconds as well. She was in there for 6 then.
She set up a 10.
Pretty much. She's working hard to seal out,
bring the grill out,
but they need to find her earlier in the play. That's what they need to find her. They can't wait and wait and wait.
4 on the shot clock. Miyazawa lays it up. And Japan now lead by 8 points. Clock becoming part of the enemy. And a charge called on Lee. That is number 4. She was fighting for position. She bowled over Takashiki.
And Lee just has a shocked expression on her face. They're going to leave her in because there's only 2:22 to go, and Hongzhu still needs a breather.
Quick pass, Miyazawa to Takashiki. Now Motohashi for 3, and an offensive foul called on Takada for clearing out.
A big call by the official, but it's the right call. You can see no argument from Takada. You see the clear out. Yeah, extends the arm and almost pushes her away. Great call.
Still time for China, but they need points and they need stops. 2:06. And Hovas, the Japan coach, knows this thing isn't over yet. Imploring his team to play defense. Lee to Lee. The big center can't get it back to the point guard. Xiaoting. And then Lee's pass sails over the head of Wang. Shot clock about to expire. Lee has to put up a desperation shot. And she didn't get the rim, so the shot clock violation gives it back to Japan. A strange pass from Lee Yuaru. It sailed over the head of Lee Wan.
And again, I don't want to keep raving about it, but Motohashi made that play happen because she denied possession. They needed to get the ball back into the hands of Lee Yuan. They didn't get the ball, and they didn't know what to do. They had no idea what to do without the ball in the hands of their point guard. If I'm Japan, I'm trying to lock out the point guard from holding the ball now.
Motohashi bounce pass to Takada. She gets rejected. That's the rejection of the game by Hongzhu. Now Hongzhu gets it back. Oh, it looked like Takada had a handful of jersey, and Hongzhu looks like she's not going to be denied.
Japan need to slow it down. This is time management now. This is time management as much as anything else. They've got the 6-point lead. They have control.
Motohashi gets swatted by Wang. Now Lee Wan. Nowhere to go. Forced it up, Lee Wan. And Xiaoting fouls.
And what a play for Motohashi at the other end. She made the mistake at this end. She didn't know who was guarding her from behind, but she's made up with it there.
Oh, what a block. What a block. Look at this again.
Oh.
Fully extended, and then this.
She's got big moves for big games.
She will have gained so much confidence from this performance. The world better watch out because Hangzhou has arrived. But the clock now is the enemy. Just 45 seconds to go. If Japan score here, it's probably over. Shot clock down to 4. Motohashi. Hangzhou with the rebound. She's got to get rid of it. China in a hurry. Wu to Gao Song. They need the 3. Wu puts it up. It's good! Oh! China have pulled to within 3. They have not given up the ghost.
Unbelievable. This game just throws, twists and turns at us till the end. Ice through the veins. Wu. Beautiful shot from outside with Takashiki chasing it down, but this game is not going to end. I think your request for overtime is potentially on the cards. 22.5 to go. It's going to be Japan's ball. Let's listen to the huddle. Twenty-two and a half seconds left to play in the final of the FIBA Women's Asia Cup 2019, and
you saw some of the Australian players here watching as well.
They're waiting to collect their bronze medal, and you hope they use that as some motivation. The Australians, they missed out on what was going to be a classic game, whoever got here.
Good luck picking the All-Star 5 after this. What an unbelievable performance by so many different players. Takashiki gets it over to Rui Mashida, to Takada.
They've got to foul. Why are they not fouling? They've got to foul.
That was great strategy. It's still 13.9 seconds.
I don't understand. The usual play that you have out of the back of that is you give yourself 2 seconds to steal the ball. You give yourself a couple of attempts to steal the ball, then you foul straight away. They've just lost, well, what, almost half, a third of their game time left to get back into this.
Yeah, and they have not. They're going to do one more. Well,
and now they're going to, they're going to have to foul again.
And they got to be careful they don't commit an unsportsmanlike. On top of it, got to go for the ball. Rui Mashida gets it into Takashiki, who is fouled.
Good.
By Xiaoting. So Ramu Takashiki. In fact, they got to commit another foul. That's only 4.
Yeah, they have. Sounds crazy, isn't it? When you don't foul enough, it becomes a penalty at the back end of a game like this.
So, again, and I'll tell you what, we've seen some big steals on inbounds plays. Don't discount the possibility of that from China. They do get it to Takashiki again. And she is fouled. So if she makes 1, you would think that Japan are going to be awfully difficult to beat.
She's 1 from 2 for the night, Takashiki. And she hadn't missed a free throw before today's game.
And this is your big-time player on reputation coming into this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. But these, this is the time that the best players in the world shine. This is the moment where they want the ball. They want to be at the free throw line, winning, the trophy, winning championships for their country.
Takashiki misses the first. So she misses this one. All bets are off. Japanese players smiling nervously because she just missed it.
Japan need to restrict the transition as well. They don't let it free flowing.
Oh, she missed a second. China live. Do you foul? Do you allow them to attempt the three?
I'd foul. I'd foul.
You don't want to foul the three-point shooter. Xiao Tang. Wu gets it back. That is it. China have run out of time. And Japan, despite the free throw misses at the end by Tokushiki, have won their 4th consecutive FIBA Women's Asia Cup. A brilliant game from both teams. It's too bad you couldn't have 2 winners, but there's only one, and it's Japan, 71-68 over China. What an unbelievable advertisement for international basketball. Breathtaking stuff.
And where do you start to try and dissect that game? At what point do you pull that game apart and you see the face of the Chinese coach, Coach Xu Liming?
Xu Liming, I think at the end of the day, he can only be proud. I mean, you know what? You can't have perfection from your team, but he got some unbelievable inspirational efforts, not only tonight, but from a whole cast of characters in this entire tournament. Chinese basketball has much to be happy about looking into the very near future, the here and now and ahead, as they bow to the fans, and also Japan are proving they have no equals when it comes to Asian basketball right now, Asian women's basketball.
Well, they made history. The first ever team, the first ever country to win 4 Asia Cups in a row. And you'd love to read the mind of Coach Xu Liming. He looks, you know, proud and frustrated at the same time. But when the dust settles, you feel that pride will overtake any other emotion that he has. But for Japan, you can just see the elation now. And Coach Hovas instantly turned around to some of the sports staff that are up in the balcony and just celebrated with them as well. And you just see how proud the players are, the coaching staff are, and the fans in the stands. And they have dealt us one of the great finals.
I mean, truth be told, 2 finals here in Bengaluru have been classics. Both won by Japan. They beat Australia 2 years ago. Now they have won here against China. And, you know, they couldn't have played any better, really. Tom Hovas gives hugs to all the players. Some of them didn't get into the game. It just wasn't, you know, you're like you say, you're going to have to shorten your bench sometimes. So you had some quality players missing out, including for China, Liu, who I think is one of their best talents.
Yeah, here's some of the shooting percentages in Japan. Look at that, 60% from the perimeter. How efficient were they? But the great thing to see in this game is very few free throws. Just an open, flowing game, wonderful to watch, and that's how close the game was. 1 rebound difference between them, and both teams playing beautiful offense, team offense, and just an amazing game being handed out by these 2 teams. And you know, you talked about players that missed out on the final, but this is the great thing about tournament basketball. Every single person in that team has earned the right for that gold medal. No matter how many minutes they've played or they haven't played, every single player in that team has just been phenomenal through this entire week of competition.
Well, as we look at the stats coming out at the end, it's going to be a huge ask to come up with an all-star 5. I don't know who's voting and whatever, but unbelievable stuff. Motohashi with 24 points. I've got an idea she's probably going to be the MVP. But Hongju might be pushing her even in defeat because she was that good.
If Motohashi doesn't get the MVP, then I'll be absolutely amazed. You know, after the semi-final performance and the final performance, just, you know, just breathtaking, just absolutely breathtaking.
And Japan, well, we'll look at the highlights of China and Japan. And Motohashi, just so many different parts about her game that are just have such the wow factor. Passing or penetration or scoring. And what I find fascinating is how Japan just seems to turn out point guards. I mean, you know, you've had Asami Yoshida, you've had Manabi Fujioka, you've had Rui Mashida, now we've got Nago Motohashi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where do they come from? What are they doing?
Yeah.
What's the secret?
And then you've got Watanabe sitting on the bench, not getting into the final, but for most other teams in this Asia Cup, she'd have played huge minutes. So it's, yeah, just phenomenal. And you could literally go through the entire 12 for Japan near enough, and each one of them has contributed massively to this title. Their fourth ever, fourth in a row that they've had. And
I think really when you look back at China's chances tonight, they got up by double digits in the first half, and they weren't able to slam the door shut. And that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And part of the reason was the play of an X factor like Hayashi for Japan. Here's Hayashi with the ball making the pass, but she came on and hit some huge shots to help him close the gap to just one by halftime. So, did China, could they have won this game? I think they could have. They built that early lead. They would have had Japan questioning themselves even more if they'd had a bigger lead going to halftime. But it takes a lot to beat a great team.
Yeah, without a shadow of doubt, you're right. They had Japan on the ropes, but when you have a team of the quality of Japan, when you have them on the ropes, you have to throw the haymaker.
Yeah.
You've got to knock them out. You can't let them, come around a little bit and start throwing punches back, because then you're going to struggle, because your confidence, your momentum completely gets zapped. You're right. If they had at that moment pounced on the game and really put them to task, then this could be a flip. You could be seeing, China standing on the top of the podium, China celebrating on the floor with the championship T-shirts being worn. But as it stands, Japan continue to dominate Asian basketball. But what a wonderful tournament.
Maybe the one thing that perhaps held China back from winning the title, you could say, would be more youth in their team, more inexperienced, and that's what Ji Lumen, the coach, was talking about in the press conference. Didn't even expect his team coming into this tournament to get to the final. That said, Han Ju grew up in a big way tonight and really revealed herself to be a new force in international basketball.
Well, the future is so bright for Chinese women's basketball. You look at that roster, they've only got 2 players over the age of 25. They've got Liu, and then they've also got Xiaoting. They're the only 2 players, I think, over the age of 25. Oh, no, Gao's 27 as well, but you've got Li at 19, you've got Yang at 24, Guo at 22, Li Yeyu at 20, Han at 19, Chen Mingling at 19. Just so much young talent in that Chinese team. And, fast forward to the next Asia Cup.
And the T-shirts that Japan are wearing say it all, really. 2019 champions, and then it says 4-peat. So they've won it 4 in a row. So they'll be going for the 5-peat.
Unbelievable achievement. And you have a feeling that if this Chinese roster can stick together, then potentially it's going to be an even closer final next time we come out, because it's not like the Korean team are, knocking on the door of retirement. Their average age is only 25 as well. You could see these 2 teams knocking lumps out of each other for the next 2, 3 Asia Cups.
And you've obviously going to have Australia that aren't going to take anything lying down. They're going to come back strong, and then you're going to see Korea most likely start to get stronger moving forward as well. And hopefully we'll see the continued emergence of New Zealand.
Yeah, and Chinese Taipei as well. Yeah, I have a feeling the Chinese Taipei, are close to making a step up in quality and move themselves up into a true contention for a top 4 in this Asia Cup. And then you look at the lower ends, obviously the likes of the Philippines and India, the hosts here. This is a great learning for them. They were a lot better at their last game than they were their first game. We've seen them grow in this game, and being part of Division 8 is only going to help that further in the future.
And it's great for India, Bengaluru, but Indian basketball to host an event like this and to witness the beauty, the athleticism, the precision, the tactics, everything at the highest level of Asian women's basketball, because it gives them something to aspire to.
Yeah, absolutely. And ultimately that's, from FIBA's point of view, that's one of the big points of these tournaments, and bringing them into cities like Bengaluru and countries like India to say, this is basketball, these are the benefits, let's inspire some people, embrace it. And the great thing you've got is that we've seen crowds growing during the week, and not just growing in numbers, but growing in engagement. You felt like they started to understand what was going on, because I imagine some of the fans in the stands are relatively new to basketball, and this final game, they were fully engaged and fully into the game and cheering on, you know, their favourite team for the win. And it's moments like that, particularly with all the young faces you see around the arena, that can set basketball fans for life. I know that's how I fell in love with the sport 35 years ago now, and you know, I can't get away from it. And it's events like this should provide inspiration for the next generations of you know, Indians to take up the sport, and hopefully they represent their country in similar tournaments in the future.
But you know, my main hope as it relates to China is to accept that you have pushed what has become a great basketball nation. You know, with Tom Hovas playing a huge part of that, no doubt. But also the clubs. You know, you know, he was telling us about how Japan is a desirable place to play, and you know, the players are happy there, great clubs. But Japan have been pushed by China, and China now know again what it takes to get to that top level with Ramu Takashiki, Nagaoka, I think, whatever, waving to the camera. So my hope is that China are positive about this, and I think they will. You know, it's always the same, isn't it? Yeah. Especially if it's a close final. It's very difficult to get the bad taste out of your mouth.
No, and you talked during the game about the thorough debrief all these countries will go through.
Yeah.
And you hope they leave a few days for China's point of view, because you let the disappointment and that kind of anger almost settle, and then you go, do you know what? We made it to the final of Asia Cup with a team the average age of 23, and we've got some superstars breaking through here.
And it really is also you know, it's magnified when you don't make a play or two. You know, Lee Yueru had a bad pass when she was trying to throw it back to Lee Wan.
She had a tough final.
Yeah, and you just hope that it's not going to be, you know, she's going to be remembered just for that. She's young, she'll grow up, and again, if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. That's how they have to look at it.
And I think they will. Time will enable them to take that perspective.
The awards will be
So we're going to
presented
start
by
the award ceremony, and the All-Star 5 first of all. And then
Ladies and
the
gentlemen,
MVP.
here
So the
are
All-Star 5.
the best players of the FIBA Women's Asia Cup 2019. Our All-Star 5. Rebecca Allen, Australia.
So, not surprisingly, Becca Allen has been named to the All-Star 5 for her performance, and I think that's going to mean a lot to her. And I hope it means a lot to Australian basketball to see one of theirs get up there, because she was terrific, and we really talked about that today. Consistently bringing it, and I think, without question, she's probably got one hand on the spot in the Olympic team. She averaged 11.7 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, 1.8 assists. Hangzhou has made it as well, no surprise there, especially after her performance today. She averaged 8.2 points, 4.6 rebounds, 1.2 assists, a lot of blocks, had a huge final today, gets a hug from Becca Allen. Motohashi, the point guard of Japan, again, no surprise that she has made the starting 5, averaging 17 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds. She had 24 points in the final. Xiao Ting has made it. She hit the big spinning shot layup that beat Australia in the crucial game. Her numbers, 5.6 points per game, 4 rebounds, and 3.8 assists for the 29-year-old. And Yuki Miyazawa from Japan has made it. And she was utterly brilliant late in the tournament for Japan. Ended up averaging 12.8 points, 9 rebounds, and 0.8 assists. Obviously, she threw in a lot of three-point daggers, and they are going to pose now.
That's a pretty impressive 5, right?
That is indeed. So now the MVP is going to be of surprising, a couple of Chinese, a couple of Japanese, and you know what? There's probably, you can make strong cases for 2 or 3 other players from those teams to be on there.
Yeah, there's been some great performances throughout this tournament, and yeah.
So Motohashi has been named as the MVP of the FIBA Women's Asia Cup, and I'll tell you, it's no surprise. I mean, she was electric.
No, for me, we had the conversation before this. If there was anyone that was going to take the TISA MVP award, it was going to be her. Just, she stepped up in the big game. She was massive in the semi-final. She was massive in the final, and you know, her teammates need to, you know, give her a pat on the back, because she's played a huge part in them making it to the top of the podium.
Always had a smile on her face.
Yeah.
I'll never forget in their big win, one of their big wins the other night, she slammed into the advertising hoardings. Got up, kind of limped down the court, kind of smiling, then took her out of the game.
Yeah.
And then after the game, she could barely walk.
Yeah, no,
she was still smiling.
But the smile's still there. Yeah, absolutely. She just looks like she loves to play basketball, and that shows in the performances that she puts in.
So the third place winners, the bronze medalists, Australia, come to get their medals. Jenna O'Hay, Lauren Nicholson, Leilani Mitchell, Steph Talbot, Abby Bishop, Beck Allen, Katie Ebzery, Marcy Garvin, Tara Blitzabs, Ezzy McFegger, Kayla George.
And Nicholas Ecamp's the last one. It's tough when they've got their hair down, right? They look very different when they're not ready for...
And I didn't recognize Blitzabs. She's come out with a different look tonight. She's tried to fool us.
Yeah, it's the hair down. You're used to them being ready to battle on the hardwood.
Also Sandy Brondello, the coach. And so many people also around the team deserve medals when you think about how much time and effort they put into it as well. But
you've been lucky enough to speak to some of the backroom staff from all the teams, and you just know how much they put into these performances, and like you say, they've worked just as hard for these medals as anyone else.
Very happy for these women. I know they had high aspirations coming here to go even farther, but you know what? The reality is getting this medal is a huge achievement. And they will get better. And I expect to see a strong Australia for the pre-qualifiers. Chief Secretary of Government Karnataka, Vijay Ashkur.
They can be certainly proud of securing the bronze medal. It might not be the colour that they wanted. You know, they came here to take gold, but a bronze medal in a competitive tournament like this is, you know, nothing to be ashamed of. They put in a big performance, and they should be really proud.
Silver last time, and now they get third place, bronze. And they hear the warm applause here from everyone in the arena. You know, it's interesting how Bengaluru, India, has been the site of. I mean, these people must be pinching themselves, thinking that they've been able to watch games like this, especially the finals. The last two FIBA Women's Asia Cups.
Yeah, they've certainly been
spoiled.
Yeah, they have. They've had the gift of some of the best women's basketball in the world, and that final, I'm still kind of reeling from it, still trying to get my breath back from what was an amazing final. And Australia also provided us with some big games as well in this tournament. The semi-final against Japan, the group game they had against China was up there with some of the best as well. And yeah, they should be proud of what they've achieved, the Australian team.
Yang Levi, Wang
China will get their silver medals. Xiao Ting looks quite emotional over just missing out on the title. And probably understandably considered she's the elder statesman in this team. Probably knows that, well, I don't know how many opportunities she'll have, but she's 29, so
yeah, potentially one more if her body can hold up to.
So Xiaoting Wu, Zhao Song, Liu, Li, Yueru, Hongzhu, Chen Mingling, Li Wan, Wang, Guo, Yang, and Shi, as well as Coach Zhu Liman, receiving their silver medals.
And again, the more the dust settles, the more the time kind of lets things settle down a little bit. The more they'll appreciate the silver medal. They were heartbroken at the moment because they were so close to the upset and the gold medal. But you can almost see now that I think it's starting to dawn on them that they came in here probably third favourites to take the title, really. You know, I think most people have said Australia and Japan are likely, you know, one of those two will be at the top spot. So for them to claim the silver, a young roster, still so much in front of them, you know, is an absolute accolade and a credit to every single player and every member of the coaching staff as well.
Always one of the oddities of this type of situation where you have these bronze medalists that tend to be a little happier at this time of the night.
They've just come off a win, haven't they? Yeah.
Silver medalists are just coming off of defeat.
Yeah.
To kindly come forward and receive the trophy.
But you can almost gauge the performance and how acceptable this is for China by the coach's face, and Coach Xu Liming has actually got a rather nice smile on his face at the moment. I think he's quite proud that he's led this team to the final, and not just led them to the final, but a really close silver medal as well. It's not like they were blown out in the final. They were there to the last 20 seconds of the game.
They will now step off the podium, and then we'll get ready for Japan. So Xiaoting walks off. You can see she's already shed a few tears. And Xiaoting
just getting punked by one of the Australians.
By Steph Talbot.
Yeah, nice. I like it.
They must know each other.
Yeah. She called her out for it though.
Maki Takara, the captain.
Karnataka, Wajubhai Vala will come out and present the medals.
And what a moment for every single one of these players. They may have won 3, some of these players previously, but it never becomes less special when someone puts a gold medal around your neck.
I'll tell you what I'll never forget is the steely confidence expressed by Coach Tom Hobas before this tournament, the day before it started.
Yep.
How do you feel, Coach? I feel really good. How do you feel about your team's chances of winning this thing again? I feel really good.
Yeah, man, a few words, but you kind of got the message of exactly what the team were here to do, and they didn't think, you know, they came back as reigning champions, and they were taking that really seriously. You know, that was their job to come back and defend the title, and what an amazing defense they've mounted for this title.
So Maki Takada, the captain, takes it first. Moeka Nagaoka was second, and then Ramu Takashiki. Rui Mashida has just received hers. Sanai Motokawa. I mean, all of these players, you know, you remember, you look back and you remember at different times during this tournament where they excelled and in important situations. That's what's fascinating to me.
Motokawa led them in game day 1, 16 points, you know, against India. And then Motohashi, who's got hers, obviously led them in the final.
Saki Hayashi today was huge with those huge three-pointers. Evelyn Mawuli.
She had 11 against India as well, you know.
I mean, but she was quite possible. You know, she's the type of player that would start for most teams here.
Yeah, definitely.
Tamami Nakata, Aya Watanabe, Riki Miyazawa, of course, making the All-Star 5, and Himawari Akaho, who had the explosion on opening night, and of course Tom Huvas, who has to not only prepare the team throughout the year, but also has to manage them during the tournament and manage them during games in those difficult situations. And there are plenty where he has to make adjustments and he has to communicate it. So now we're going to have the playing of the Japanese national anthem.
And the moment that every young basketball player dreams about. This is the moment.
So now the trophy will be presented by the LOC, and Maki Takada, who has to be said, she struggled early, but she had a huge final.
She was so important in that final, so important. She'll take real joy from lifting this trophy for Japan.
I wonder if there's going to be confetti tonight. Just utterly brilliant stuff, folks. I mean, I can't tell you. First of all, the people who have produced this, the camera people, have given us a lot of images that we're going to have in our heads for a long time. Congratulations to all of them. And congratulations to Japan, who, again, have won this title 4 years in a row, including the last two following the editions of Australia and New Zealand. And they will go into the pre-qualifiers for the Olympics. Of course, they will be at the Olympics as the host with a lot of confidence. They already had confidence, and now will be even more confidence bolstered. Don't drop it, Mikey. And she raises it up to the sky, and sure enough, we've got some confetti, whatnot.
Beautiful golden streamers, completely appropriate for the achievement that Japan have had here today. An amazing achievement from an amazing group of players.
And now the sound of "We Are the Champions," the legendary sound of, we hear it all the time, don't we?
Yeah, and it gets old. No, it doesn't. It still raises the hairs on the back of your neck. They just need to alter the lyrics there. Need to get a bit of a remix.
We are the champions of Asia.
Yeah.
This is a team that obviously, you know, the Takadas and the Motohashis and the Takashikis and the Miyazawas they know they're going to be in it, but the bottom line is there are a lot of other players that want a piece of this, and it only makes Japan stronger moving forward as more and more people try to get into that national team.
This is what we talk about. It's not just inspiring, you know, the younger generations that get into the sport to start with. It's inspiration for all the potential players that can play for the national team. You know, there's players that aren't in this tournament due to injury, or players that maybe have selected that they wanted not to play this year. But look what they've missed out on, you know. This just makes the hunger, the desire to be a part of the national squad just even more, you know. As you get the thumbs up from Coach Hovas there, and what a job he has done.
I wish we could interview him right now because he's such a wonderful coach with great ideas and so positive. And it's great to see somebody from my country anyway make a great difference in a place like Japan. You can see how it really works.
And I think the great thing is he's not imposed America on Japan. Do you know what I mean? He's not gone in there and said, this is the American way of doing things. He's gone in and fully embraced Japanese culture, the whole mentality of Japan. And then he said, and by the way, this is what American basketball is as well. And that marriage has been absolutely perfect. And that's why they're just electric to watch. We said it, I think, game day one. It's a joy to watch Japanese women's basketball, a real joy.
Well, plenty of basketball players in the land of the rising sun have been inspired yet again by the performance of Japan. And dare I say, all throughout Asia, they were inspired by watching both China and Japan trade blows tonight in a classic final of the FIBA Women's Asia Cup here in Bengaluru, India.
Yeah, absolutely unbelievable. Unbelievable tournament. What a great way to finish the tournament off. You know, you always want the final to be the best game in the tournament. And again, we haven't been disappointed. We've been gifted with a beautiful final from two great teams, two great coaching staffs, and two great basketball countries.
And the beauty of international basketball as it is right now, it won't be too long before Japan, before China, before Australia get back together and they play in front of the fans, wherever that's going to be at the pre-qualifiers. So, you know, that's one of the things that FIBA has really emphasized is that it knows that the most popular team in every country is the national team, and there's nothing like seeing these players go out there and represent their countries for that national pride. And certainly Japan, they know it all. I mean, they have great crowds.
Yeah, and you've seen it here, you know, just the small kind of pockets of Japanese fans that we've had here in the arena. They're so passionate for their basketball, they're so passionate for the sport and for their national team, and to have that support really does lift these players up even further. You know, it lets them know how important it is and how, you know, important they are in their home country.
So as we go back through many of the images here tonight, but also throughout this tournament, again, New Zealand, Chinese Taipei, and I think we'll actually get some words from Coach Tom Hovas as well, who's going to join us.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Tom.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
A row for you and 4 in a row for Japan. Well,
yeah.
in fact, it's 4 in a row for you because you were a part of the other ones. Well,
yeah, 3 of them. Yeah.
Oh, 3 of them. Okay.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And we were talking about how you just had that self-belief at the beginning, where we just knew that Japan was going to be successful.
Well, you know, we prepared for it, and we had over 5 months of preparation. So, you know, you know, we always seem to be not appreciated, but we're always kind of like the underdogs. I guess it's because of our size, but you know, we've got a pretty fierce bite. Small dog, big bite.
I have to ask you, just with the competition as it unfolded this time, did you expect it to be as tough as it was?
Of course, yeah. No, you know, leading up to it, you know, we had figured we'd have to get through China and Australia, and we didn't know what, you know, when it would be. You know, we thought maybe China in the semifinals, but this was phenomenal. You know, 2 years ago was phenomenal. This was equally so.
What does it say about Asian basketball now to see this type of final?
I'll tell you what, Asia basketball is so strong right now, and it's on the upswing. You know, there's certain things that I just wish that, you know, FIBA would kind of, I don't know, put more attention on us, you know. Well, they do, but in terms of the ranking system and stuff, you know, we've got some really tough teams here, and, you know,
Well, you'll
I'm
be going up.
excited.
There's a formula to collecting all those points, and you're going to get even more for winning this one. And we're going to see. I think that's going to be reflected.
I hope so. I hope so. I can't wait. You know,
we're looking forward to you guys in the pre-qualifiers, qualifiers, but obviously you'll also be at the Olympics. So I want to wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, thank you very much. You guys do a fantastic job of it. I've been watching the other games and scouting through the other, through your videos, and I love how you guys interact with each other. It's fantastic.
We really appreciate it.
I
Thanks
appreciate
for being
it.
a great example.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And that's it for the FIBA Women's Asia Cup. Thanks for Tom Hovas joining us, and a wonderful, wonderful occasion. Once again, Japan are the champions yet again of Asia.
皆さんこんばんは、宮澤夕貴です。本日の配信はいかがだったでしょうか。2019年アジアカップは大会序盤に体調を崩してしまい、チームに迷惑をかけてしまったのを覚えています。ほとんどの試合が前半はなかなか自分の仕事ができず、後半に立て直すという大会でしたが、コートに立った選手一人一人がしっかりとチームの役割を果たすことができた大会だったと思います。2013年のアジアカップから全ての大会に選んでいただき、4連覇できたことは私にとって本当にいい経験になりました。最初は先輩方についていくので必死だったのですが、大会を重ねるごとにチームを引っ張っていく立場になり、自覚と責任を持てるようになりました。これからも自分の仕事をしっかりとやりながら、チームのことも考えていきたいと思います。過去3回の配信を通してアジアカップ4連覇の奇跡をご覧いただきました。今後の配信もお楽しみください。